tried and played.
Five Awesome Rejects viewers, it's Tuesday. That means it's the Razman's day yet again. And yes, the title does not deceive you. It's finally time to talk about what I asked you a number of weeks ago, and that is some of your favorite childhood memories. Now, you may wonder why I kept putting this off and putting this off and putting this off, and quite frankly it was because I had a hugely elaborate production plan. I figured, hey, we're a group channel, it's not going to matter about copyright as long as you use copyright material and it's fairly claimed on YouTube. You don't have to worry about getting personal strikes the way you do on your own channel for a group channel, because it's a bunch of people working together and partnership is probably going to be out of the realm of possibility anyway. So I was going to use clips from some of the most popular shows, try to get with some of you to talk about your memories of those personal shows, or those more popular shows, but that unfortunately just did not come together, mostly because I just could not find enough clips on sites that allow you to rip video. So instead we're left with just talking about some of the more popular shows, and I hope that it's entertaining enough for you since you've been waiting for so long. The first show that we're going to talk about that was one of my all-time favorites, in fact my second all-time favorite animated show ever, and was a popular answer for all of you, was, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original series, aired in 1987 for the first time. And it was a watered-down version. That's something that not a lot of people know, but the original series for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a bit watered down because it had to be more kid and network friendly. The original black and white comics written by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird are very much more adult oriented, and the 2003 animated series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a far more accurate representation to the original vision. That being said, however, there are a few shows that invoke so much memory as the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it was awesome. It was superheroes presented in a unique way. It was a character-driven show that was different than anything that our parents had ever seen. It wasn't our quote-unquote parents' superheroes that had been established for years, like the Incredible Hulk, Batman, Superman, etc., etc., etc. This was a totally new superhero, and I think that's why our generation, being 30 and younger, that grew up on Ninja Turtles, and even some older people than that in the 80s that were in their teens, anyone that was around in the 80s and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they gravitated toward it because it was such a unique concept. I mean, you had mutant characters who looked like aliens, who were good guys. They weren't scary. There wasn't any reason to be afraid of them. And even though they were green and wore a colored bandana on their heads, by the way, another change for the original cartoon series. Sorry for my dog in the background. We had to end up caging him up. And don't worry, he's not uncomfortable in the cage. He spent most of his life in the cage. But we just couldn't keep him behind the fence anymore because of the way he hurt himself a couple of weeks ago, and with me being home alone, there's not much I can do, and I have prime filming hours, so I just always have to talk over my dog. But to any of you who've never seen my videos, that's the background noise that you're bound to hear. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The Ninja Turtles look different. They weren't human, but there was no reason to be scared of them because they acted much like humans. And for it being an over-the-top, somewhat campy cartoon, the Ninja Turtles were very realistic for its time, and really just something that you could just grab a hold of and never let go. And then there were the toys. The toys. Man, the toys were insane. As a kid, I had just about every Ninja Turtles toy that one could think of imaginable. The only one I think I was missing was April O'Neil. I could never, ever find an April O'Neil. But yeah, I had an extremely, massively huge Ninja Turtles action figure collection, only to have it taken away from me by a false claim. There was a couple that was at our church at the time who claimed to be very poor, claimed to be homeless and less fortunate, claimed to not be able to feed or clothe or give toys to their kids. So the whole church got together and donated as much as they could to these people. Well, my mom, having the huge heart that she does, unbeknownst to me, donated my entire action figure collection, or the majority of it, to this couple. And unbeknownst to us, it was all a big ripoff, because an individual at our church that was a deacon later found out that every one of the donated items were later sold at secondhand shops at the time, because there was no eBay at the time. But yeah, they just turned around and sold all the generous donations that everyone made for their own money. And so not only did I not want my Ninja Turtles figurines given away, but my Ninja Turtles figurines were given away to people who just turned around and sold them for their own benefit, rather than me being able to hold on to such a massive collection. So yeah, that still depresses me to this day. Granted, maybe some point in the future I'll be able to be financially in a situation where I'll be able to track down those figurines again by some miracle. But even if that happens, I'll be paying an arm and leg for it. So yeah, not fun. But anyway, yeah, Ninja Turtles was massively popular and a show that read culture in a way that I don't think any other animated show will. And then there is Batman, the animated series, the greatest representation of comic source material to ever be put on a television screen. And the way it was written, as well as the animation style, it made it feel like you were watching a live action Batman and not watching an animated series. And it was a faux live action Batman at the time, done in a way that Batman had never been done on screen before. Because remember, this was before the Christopher Nolan films. And we finally were seeing on screen the darker, more brooding, more, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, more of a made sense way for the character. Because if the character had been victimized the way he was, which was seeing his parents killed at a very young age and then turning that rage inwardly by taking something that he feared, which was bats, putting it on himself and allowing criminals to fear him, that individual has issues, and he's not going to be your typical nice, level-headed guy. And the animated series was the first time that we got to see that, what I call true representation, or at least the way that I think Batman should be represented. Don't get me wrong, I love the Adam West 60s camp version, or theatrical theater at the time version, whatever you want to call it. I love that interpretation of Batman as well, but I think the dark interpretation of Batman is where Batman should be. And the animated series was the first time that we ever got an opportunity to see that in its truest form. And that is why Batman the Animated Series will leave a lasting impression on me, and apparently so many of you. That's about all the time that I think we have for today. Granted, we have the new 15 counting grace period, 16-minute time limit now on YouTube, so I might have been able to add more, but without being able to see how long I filmed for with my HD camera, I'm just guessing here. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the more popular shows, which were from everybody, which were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman the Animated Series. I thank you all for voting in the poll, and I will see you next time when we talk about what you would do if you could go back in time. Thank you for your participation, and I'm out.
Every day that I get better, I watch as you get worse. My script is to the letter, and I'll write your final verse.